Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Muhammad Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Ron Surz. Ron is the co-host of Baby Boomer Investing Show. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Ron Surz. Ron, welcome.
Hi, Siddique. How are you?
Excellent. Thank you so much for a great
Well,
time together for next 15 minutes. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
yeah. Well, I started as an engineer with Northrop after I earned my first master's, and learned pretty quickly that when my project was done, I needed to basically go find another project that was funded by the government. So there wasn't much job security. So I changed jobs and went to work for a firm that in its day was the largest pension consulting firm in the country. It's called A.G. Becker.
Mhm.
So I started as an engineer, ended up being a financial advisor. Becker paid for my MBA in finance from the University of Chicago, and that was the beginning of the rest of my life.
Mhm. Wonderful. What are the top three mistakes to avoid based on your own experience?
Well, number one, and we're preaching this to baby boomers, is you should trust your financial advisor, but not if you haven't verified. So not all advisors are good. Second, and this is so entrenched in the industry, if you're 60% equities, 40% bonds, and you are near retirement, you're making a huge mistake. And third, the major lesson for baby boomers and everybody is you need to save. People are not saving enough. 55 million of our 78 million baby boomers are living on Social Security, and that's just a shame.
What is your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
Yeah. See, I don't want to think about failures. 2008 was the biggest failure for me, and what I learned from it was really interesting. My clients were using software that I had developed, and what I learned was that they consider that software to be a luxury, and it was just shocking to me because I consider it to be an absolute necessity. How could they possibly do their jobs without my great software? So 2008 was really the biggest lesson. Um,
How did you recover from it?
Well, first of all, I'm still scared. 2008 still scares me, even though the stock market's gone up incredibly. Um, Fortunately, I had saved enough, and we saved enough through time. So as long as you're young, I think you can come back from just about any financial risk like that, and we certainly did. So I was fortunate enough in my career to. So I've been a serial entrepreneur, and as you know, because I think you are too. Some things are huge successes, and others are total failures. But fortunately enough successes. So that was it's been a good experience.
Just a one line comment. Mostly in my case, most has been disaster. I just want you to know I learned a lot.
Well, you have to learn from your failures. That's important. I think you're right.
So, Ron, what are your top three success secrets the others can model from?
One is marketing is everything. So I think I've had some really good ideas, and I've worked with people who have great ideas. And if you can't get the word out, they're useless. They're great ideas. Second, I've already said, you really need to save. People are not saving enough. Um, the third really is what I'm teaching with baby boomers, and that there's a time in everyone's life when whatever they've saved is going to have to be enough because they're through earning money. And that means that money becomes precious. It's very dear and needs to be protected.
Wonderful. We are about to start a lightning round. That means quick question and quick answer. Are you ready?
No,
Not ready?
I'm ready. If I'm not, this is going to be a hell of a show.
Yeah. What are you grateful for today?
I'm grateful that we were smart enough, my wife and I, to save money when we were making it, because it would have been really easy to just spend it and enjoy it. But now is the time in our lives when we're happy that we did that because we're comfortable.
Is it okay if I ask a follow-up question on your answer?
Sure.
How do you find one who like to save just like you save?
I think it's hard. I mean, we're all sort of wanting to enjoy the trips to Hawaii and the cars and everything else, and they're absolutely irresistible. It just requires, I think, this. In my case, it was the knowledge that when we were in the peak and doing really well, that was probably going to be temporary. So it was to save while you could.
Wonderful. How young are you?
76.
Ron, you are not 76. You are 18 years old with 58 years experience.
There you go. That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. What you want to do when you grow up?
Well, I'm doing it. So we moved to California 20 years ago. And the idea was, we lived in Chicago, and we had an ice storm one day, and I didn't need to be in Chicago. I just started bargaining with my wife to move here. So I've been sort of semi-retired for 20 years, and I promised my wife I'd try to golf, but I'm not good at it. So what I am good at is innovative thoughts, and my current focus is on what's called target date funds, and in particular, bringing that idea, that notion, to individual investors, and in particular baby boomers. I think baby boomers are they're hanging out there, and this decade is just loaded with threats, and I don't think we're going to get through this decade without a big correction. I just think it's highly unlikely.
What you want to do when you okay. How do you overcome a challenge life throws at you?
I drank. I'm kidding. It's good to have a good soulmate. So my wife and I have certainly gone through our stretches of bad times, but without her, I think it would be really tough. So I think having a good spouse really helps a lot.
How do you start your day?
I wake up, and normally, and this is the good thing about being semi-retired, I always have something to do. So I wake up just roaring to get to my computer to do the thing that I decided I wanted to do today. And I can say I've never had a day where I wake up and think I'm just going to watch TV, because that would get pretty boring quick.
Yeah. What is the advice you will give to a younger yourself?
I'm just on the fence about that. So I had a lot of opportunities that I didn't take, the cost of untaken paths. I would say to myself that I should maybe be a little less cavalier about that. So I was so confident that whatever I did would be a success. But there's at least 3 things I passed up in my career that would have really been fun and very successful.
Once you have a revenue-generating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
She's been great. I mean, pretty much whatever I want to do, she supports, and that's just been a phenomenon. But so she trusts me. It's just been very gratifying.
What is the impactful book you have read, and what did you learn from it?
Well, you asked me to show this one, so I'm going to show it. It's the Against the Gods. It's the remarkable story of risk, and risk is something we live with every day. You can't get away from it, but you can, by understanding it better, you can control it, and that's pretty much what I'm doing in a book I'm writing right now. It's just for baby boomers, and it's basically saying what I believe to be true, that the baby boomers are generally taking more risk than they really should. Certainly at this time of their life, 78 million baby boomers, $50 trillion, all in what's called the risk zone, which is the time period when, if you lose money, the thing that's going to suffer most is your lifestyle. And that, by the way, is not just the risk to the boomers. It's the risk to society. Because gratefully, our society anyway really seems to want to take care of the poor old people. But I would just wonder how much of that we can really do.
Don, understood. Thank you. Why being impactful is important to you?
I want to be a contributor. I would like to, I guess I call it a legacy. So I've already written a lot, and I'm leaving a lot behind. But the boomers are, I mean, there's
understood.
They're poking the bear.
Who is your mentor, and what is the impact?
I probably look back to in college. I had a professor who I was just going to quit with my bachelor's degree, and he encouraged me to go get my master's. But then um, he also said he would sponsor me for my PhD, and I probably should have taken him up on that. But just that encouragement and support was, I think, instrumental in getting my credentials and getting a little smarter.
Yeah. What do you want to be remembered for?
I'd like to be remembered for the Baby Boomer Investing Show. So we started that last year.
Yeah.
And my sister and I are really enjoying it. And I think it's really, people who will watch it, I think, will be helped.
Mm-hmm. Who is your ideal client?
That's funny. I don't really have clients anymore. So when I had an ideal client, it was somebody smarter than me. I used to love to work with really smart people. And one of my very smartest clients, I asked him once, why are you using a consultant? And he said, because I said, you're really smarter than me. He goes, yeah, I know. But the board won't listen to me. They'll listen to you. You're an outsider.
Yeah. How can we support you?
No, I'm not sure. You got my curiosity up. I think we met on LinkedIn. Maybe there's ways we can work together. We're doing similar things, I think, in terms of enlightening people. Mm-hmm. So maybe you can help me enlighten baby boomers, and maybe I can help you do what you do.
Mm-hmm. Babyboomersinvesting.show. That's the site. Check it out. Listen, live show to educate baby boomers on their investments. So go and watch, listen, and learn from Ron, from our guests. We are about to wrap up. Ron, I'd like to ask a quick feedback about your today's guest experience on the show. Here is my question. What would you say about your today's guest experience on the show?
Oh, this is fun. I really like the way you structured this. Mm-hmm. So even though everything was fast, I had a chance to prepare, and that helped a lot.
Wonderful. What would you say as a final word?
If you're a baby boomer, please look at how you're invested now. And if you're not protecting your assets, by the way, we're doing more on annuities and stuff now. I'm not selling anything. But protect yourself. You really need to do that.
Protect yourself. Thank you so much, Ron, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Muhammad Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.